This video includes a paid sponsorship from Skillshare. Stay tuned for a free trial Skillshare membership offer later on in the video. As we've talked about in past videos, the new Model Y 2.0 that's going to be produced at Gigafactory Austin and also Gigafactory Berlin is going to have Tesla's newest battery technology, the 4680 battery cells, in the structural battery packs. This new battery technology and also the new Model Y 2.0 definitely has the potential to once and for all render hybrids and even plug-in hybrids obsolete. Let's talk all about this. I'm Jonathan and welcome to Cleanerwatt. When was the last time you watched a movie from a VHS tape? And for that matter, when was the last time that you even watched a movie from a DVD? When it comes to my personal media consumption, I obviously don't use VHS tapes anymore, and I really don't even use DVDs anymore. I rely on digital media, whether that's through my smart television or through my computer. And the reason for that is that digital media is much more convenient and it's a much better technology. It has rendered VHS tapes, and really for that matter, DVDs, obsolete. Before the Tesla Model S came on the scenes in 2012, there really weren't any practical EV options on the market. This left the market wide open for hybrid cars, and hybrids were pretty much what was available for those who cared about the environment. Now, while the Model S is and was a great car, even back in 2012, it had one big, huge problem for many people, and that was the fact that the price was much higher than many people could afford. Because of this, the hybrid lived on, and also I believe it paved the way for the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Now that the more affordable Tesla Model 3 is available, however, hybrids and plug-in hybrids make a lot less sense. And I believe the market is now reflecting that fact. Despite that fact, as I'll talk about a little later on in the video, I do believe there are still some valid arguments to make a case for a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Even with the great Tesla and other electric vehicles on the market, that door has not been completely shut yet, but things are about to change in a huge way. Back in 1997, Toyota started selling the Prius, which was one of the first mass-produced hybrid vehicles on the market. The Prius was considered the green car choice for many environmentally conscious individuals, including many celebrities. However, since its peak in 2012, sales of the Prius have been shrinking every year. While there is never just a single factor that leads to a sales decline for a vehicle, I believe one of the biggest factors in the decline of the sales of the Prius hybrid has to do with a little company you may have heard of, and that company is Tesla. Remember, 2012, the year that the Prius sales started to decline, is the same year that Tesla introduced the Model S. And also remember that Tesla started selling the Model 3 in 2017. Remember too that in general, Tesla's electric vehicles and other electric vehicles are quite a bit more expensive than the Prius. However, this shift is still happening in a drastic way. Consumers are showing what they really want with their money: a great looking, technology forward car with great performance and one that is all electric. While the Toyota Prius sales have seen a steep decline in recent years, the Tesla Model 3 has of course seen a steep increase of sales over the past several years. When it comes to the United States sales of the Tesla Model 3, that number grew to more than 200,000 in 2020, and I have no doubt that 2021 will also be a great year for the Model 3. Now, despite the sales decline with the Prius, Toyota has found some success with the RAV4 hybrid in recent years in a very SUV-hungry market, the United States. This shows that a hybrid still has a market and is not yet dead. Recently, Toyota also began deliveries of the RAV4 Prime Hybrid, which is the plug-in hybrid version with up to 42 miles of battery-only range. Now, while I am personally a strong supporter of full battery electric vehicles and not so much for hybrid vehicles, I do believe a strong case can be made for a plug-in hybrid in today's market, especially a plug-in hybrid SUV like the RAV4 Prime Hybrid. The RAV4 plug-in hybrid does offer a lower cost alternative that is much better than a standard internal combustion engine vehicle, but it still pollutes. Thankfully, however, battery technology is improving very quickly, and with Tesla's new 4680 battery cells, as we'll talk about in just a minute, the game is about to completely change. Now, I'm not going to attempt to justify a regular hybrid vehicle, one without actual all-electric range, a non-plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, because I believe we're way past that technology here in 2021. I do, however, want to go over some common arguments for the existence of a plug-in hybrid, but also, while I do that, explain why they'll soon be meaningless. Before we do that, though, I do want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. I recently took Marquise Brownlee's Skillshare course, YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit, with the free trial membership Skillshare gave me. I took this class with the hopes of improving my video content and especially my script writing, and it was definitely worth my time. When I saw that MKBHD had a class on Skillshare, I knew that I had to take it because I've long admired Marquise for his enjoyable and high quality videos. I especially found the part about writing your script helpful, and I'm already using what I learned to improve the content of my videos. Skillshare has classes on a broad number of topics to help you learn new skills and improve some existing ones, so you're sure to find classes that interest you. If you're ready to give Skillshare a try, the first 1,000 people to use the link in my video description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that, it's only around $10 per month. Now, as I mentioned before the sponsorship break, I want to dive into some of the reasons why I believe there is somewhat still of a case for a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, but also talk about how Tesla's new 4680 batteries will soon render all these excuses obsolete. One of the first ones that it's important to talk about that I believe Tesla has already solved is the availability of charging for an electric vehicle. When it comes to traveling long distances in a Tesla electric vehicle, Tesla has well over 25,000 superchargers worldwide and counting. This obviously makes long distance travel very easy to do in a Tesla electric vehicle. However, while there are a number of other great charging networks out there like Ionity in Europe and Electrify America here in the United States, if you remove Tesla from the mix, a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle could make sense for something that needs to travel long distances. Another reason why a customer might potentially look at a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle versus a full electric vehicle is the fact that even a great electric SUV like the Model Y, on a full charge, the long-range all-wheel drive version has a range around 326 miles. Whereas the RAV4 Prime Hybrid, when you combine the electric and gas range, will give you somewhere around 600 miles of range. Now, I know many of you are going to say that a 300-mile range electric vehicle is completely sufficient, and I do agree with you in many accounts. However, the fact remains that the RAV4 Prime Hybrid has about twice the range of the Model Y. The good news is, however, as Tesla mentioned at Battery Day, the new 4680 batteries combined with the structural battery packs definitely has the potential to increase the range of the Tesla Model Y by a large amount. Now, I'm not really sure how much Tesla is going to immediately raise the range of the Model Y, the ones that are going to be produced at Gigafactory Austin and Gigafactory Berlin. My gut tells me that Tesla's not going to really change the range very much for a while because they don't want to steal cells away from their other versions of the Model Y. However, in the coming years, I believe Tesla will improve the Model Y range, and I believe a 400-mile range Model Y could be available in some years in the future. Another reason why a consumer might consider a plug-in hybrid vehicle versus a full battery electric vehicle comes down to the charging speed. Even though Tesla has a very robust and great charging network, the fact remains that it does add some time to your trip when you travel with an electric vehicle. For instance, if you go on a trip from Los Angeles, California to Boise, Idaho, in the RAV4 with around 600 miles of range, when it comes to fueling stops, you would really only have to make one fuel stop, and that would probably take less than 10 or 15 minutes. If you drive this same trip in a Model Y, according to a better route planner, you would need around 7 charging stops, and your total charging time would be just under 2 hours. However, while that is a huge variance, somewhat less than a 10 or 15 minute stop versus 2 hours of charging, the fact remains that you can't take a long trip like this and not stop a number of times for bathroom breaks, to stretch your legs, and also to get some food. And so when you actually do a trip in real life and you compare the two, you can do a lot of those things like eating, stretching, and going to the bathroom at a charging station, a Tesla supercharging station. And when you actually even it out, I believe the trips will actually be a lot closer in time than it might look. However, the problem remains that the average consumer may not be aware of this fact, and they may not take into account the other stops and average that out, and they may think of an electric vehicle as being impractical. So I believe that Tesla's electric vehicles and other electric vehicles, in order to reach a more mass market than they already are, need to have faster charging. The good news is that the Tesla 4680 batteries, due to their power density and also ability to dissipate heat, should be able to charge faster than vehicles equipped with standard battery packs. It's very possible that these new 4680 battery packs could render this even less of an issue than it is right now. There is one other big reason that I've left for last that I believe could be the biggest reason why somebody goes with a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle versus a battery electric vehicle, and that all comes down to the cost difference between these vehicles. According to TrueCar, the 2021 RAV4 Prime SE with a common equipment package can be purchased for around $45,000. Do note that this is selling above MSRP because of high demand right now. Once Toyota is able to produce more of these vehicles and the supply picks up a little, this price should come down a little closer to MSRP. The Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive version can currently be purchased for around $53,000 when you add in the $1,200 destination and dock fee. Even with the current inflated price of the RAV4 Prime, this represents roughly an $8,000 price variance between these two SUVs. Now, as I've talked about in a lot of other videos, when it comes to the actual cost of owning a vehicle, you can't just factor in the purchase cost, but you have to also factor in the cost of fuel and maintenance and other factors like that. When you look at the lower cost of maintenance and the lower cost of powering a vehicle, an electric vehicle, this definitely helps make up for the cost difference. Also, there is legislation right now going through the US government that could reinstitute a higher tax credit for companies like Tesla and GM that have sold too many vehicles to be eligible for the current tax credit. On top of that, once Tesla's 4680 batteries and the structural battery packs hit massive scale production, and Tesla is able to start realizing the cost savings that they mentioned at Battery Day, this could also allow for a lower cost option for the Model Y, and could once again change the math on a price comparison much in favor for the Model Y and other electric vehicles from Tesla. There are two other reasons that I like to mention as well as to why I believe hybrid vehicles are about to be obsolete, and the first one comes down to unnecessary complexity. When you look at a hybrid electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and you look at the complexity of the internal combustion engine and all the emissions that goes around that, tailpipes, etc., and then you add to that a battery and also an electric powertrain, this adds a lot of complexity that's really unnecessary. When you instead look at an electric vehicle, the very compact electric vehicle powertrain allows for a lot more usable space in the vehicle. Also, the world is becoming more and more aware of the environmental impact of our transportation choices, and the fact remains that electric vehicles offer zero tailpipe emissions. Studies have shown that even on a dirty electric grid, the entire life cycle of an electric vehicle has less of an environmental impact than a comparable internal combustion engine car. Also, our electric grids are getting cleaner and cleaner every year globally. Thankfully, though, it appears like Toyota is finally seeing the writing on the wall for their hybrids and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. They recently introduced the BZ4X, which is a RAV4 size full electric SUV, and this could potentially go on sale as early as 2022. Although we don't have a lot of details from Toyota yet about this vehicle, I am glad that they're finally making a move into the full EV space. Also, while Tesla has been one of the main driving forces in the market shift to electric vehicles, other great EV options are coming soon as well, like those from Hyundai, Kia, Ford, GM, VW, Rivian, and also Lucid Motors, to name a few. So in conclusion, I believe hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles will soon be a relic of the past, much in part to Tesla and the 4680 batteries. As a reminder, the first 1,000 people to use the link in my video description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that it's only around $10 per month. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something as well. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified when new videos are published. Also, if you did like the video, please consider clicking the like button because it helps other people find the video as well. I also wanted to take a moment to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community I've set up, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much.